I am VALIR of the Pleiadian Collective, and we greet you, dear ones, in this moment of transformation. You are not here merely to have a human experience, though this is part of what you agreed to. You are here on a mission, to meet the divine within you, and this is what we will speak of today. Feel these words not only with your mind, but with your very soul, for they carry an encoding from beyond time and space. We speak as a collective voice, reaching out across the cosmos and through this channel to remind you of who you truly are. The human language you read now is but a vessel. The true communication happens in the space between the words, where your spirit recognizes its own reflection. You have called this encounter into being, guided not by your mundane self, but by the aspect of you that is eternal and wise. It is the divine within you that has magnetized you to these truths. As you listen with your inner senses, you will realize that this meeting is a sacred reunion, a reconnection with the part of you that has never forgotten your cosmic origin and infinite worth. Know that you did not stumble upon this transmission by accident. Your higher self orchestrated this convergence at the precise moment when you are ready to hear and remember. There are no coincidences in this grand design, only the intentional awakening of your own remembrance. Let us now speak of the true nature of the divine, which many of you call God, and of the trap woven by your old religions. For many ages you have been taught to seek God outside of yourselves, in idols and saviors, in distant heavens and judgmental deities. This was a clever sleight of hand by those who would keep you powerless. The true nature of God is not an old man in the sky or a figure demanding obedience. It is the infinite consciousness that flows through all of creation, the living energy that animates every atom of your being. That sacred source lives within you and within everything around you. Yet the doctrines of old have convinced humanity that you are broken, sinful, and separate from the divine, needing intermediaries and institutions to reach what was never lost. These doctrines were designed as a cage for the mind and spirit, a trap of old religion that fed on your guilt and fear. By making you bow to an external authority, the keepers of this trap blinded you to the radiant creator self within. They declared that suffering was noble and that your birthright was tainted. So you accepted chains of limitation in hopes of redemption. But hear us now. Those ideas are but stories implanted to hold you in place. The truth is that you are an expression of the divine made manifest, a spark of source exploring existence in human form. No church, no guru, no scripture can grant you what you already are. When you reclaim this knowing, the old religious shackles crumble to dust. The vast, loving presence of the true God, which is the network of all souls and all that is, reveals itself in your heart. In claiming your inner divinity, you free yourself from the ancient trap and step into the light of sovereign truth. A great misinterpretation has haunted humanity, the belief that you see the world as it truly is. In truth, you do not see the world, you see your programming. From the moment you were born, you were immersed in a field of collective thought forms and beliefs that colored your perception. You inherited patterns from your ancestors, absorbed definitions from society, and learned the boundaries of reality through the teachings of your culture. These layers of conditioning act like tinted glass over your eyes, filtering and shaping every experience. You think you are observing an objective reality, but you are mostly meeting your own expectations and biases, projected outward. If you were taught that the world is harsh and unforgiving, you will find evidence of cruelty at every turn. If you were programmed to believe you are unworthy, you will see a world that denies you love and abundance. The external world, as you perceive it, is largely a mirror reflecting the programs you carry within your mind and body. This is the great misinterpretation of your age, confusing the map for the territory, the image for the essence. The controllers of your realm have long understood this truth. They have cleverly crafted narratives and systems to install specific programs in the masses, ensuring you collectively manifest a reality that serves their agendas. By shaping your beliefs, they shape the world you experience. But now, the light of awareness is dawning. You are beginning to question the lens you were given. You are daring to imagine that what you have taken as truth might simply be a hand-me-down script. As you peel away these layers of programming, the world reveals itself anew, more flexible, more miraculous, and far different than you were led to believe. Here lies the real secret. You are not observing reality, you are interpreting it. The world around you is not fixed or solid in the way you have assumed. It responds to the definitions and meanings you project onto it. Your consciousness is not a passive receiver, but an active creator, constantly assigning interpretations to events and thus shaping what those events become for you. Two people can walk through the same set of circumstances and live in entirely different realities, because each one filters experience through their own beliefs and emotional patterns. One sees a random coincidence, another sees a synchronicity full of guidance. One sees catastrophe, another sees an opportunity for rebirth. Which world is real? We tell you, dear ones, that reality is far more malleable than you have been taught. At the quantum level, even your scientists have discovered that the observer affects the observed. Consciousness influences the outcome of experiments. This is a significant clue from the physical world about a deeper metaphysical truth. You are participants in the weaving of reality, not mere bystanders. Every moment you stand at a crossroads of countless possible timelines. It is your focus and interpretation that select which path unfolds. You are a storyteller, and the universe faithfully materializes the story you believe. This is the true secret, long hidden from you, that by changing the story you tell yourself about reality, you can change reality itself. You are not trapped by the world. The world is entrained to follow your inner state. When you shift your perspective and clear old narratives, you literally shift your life onto a new track. Empowered with this understanding, you become the master of your experience, capable of alchemizing challenge into wisdom and adversity into triumph with a mere shift of perception. All of this understanding is rising to the surface now because humanity stands on the brink of a huge shift, what we will call the Great Quantum Reset. This is not a simple linear change, but a multidimensional awakening that is unfolding across timelines and realities. The structures built on falsehood and fear are losing their grip on your collective psyche. The old stories of unworthiness, of separation, of inevitable suffering are being revealed as illusions. Imagine a great cosmic dawn breaking after a long night. The shadows that once loomed so menacingly are evaporating in the light of truth. In this dawning era, a massive recalibration is taking place. The programs that have governed your perceptions are being challenged and dissolved. Many of you have noticed that time itself feels different, as if it is speeding up and collapsing, bringing long-buried truths to the surface. This is part of the quantum nature of the reset. It is not bound by yesterday's rules. It can rewrite the story in an instant. Sudden revelations, abrupt endings to old ways of life, and unexpected awakenings of intuition are all symptoms of this quantum leap in consciousness. As the false control matrices that once kept you in a narrow band of experience fall apart, you are given the opportunity to see beyond the confines of the old game. Those who have benefited from humanity's ignorance and pain are scrambling, for they cannot operate in this rising frequency of transparency. You, dear ones, are the pioneers of this new era. By daring to question what you've been told, and by opening to your own higher knowing, you have initiated the reset within your own life. And as enough individuals do this, the collective field tips toward liberation, triggering a cascade of transformation that ripples across the planet and beyond. Amid this great quantum reset, we bring you a message of release. All your suffering was never yours to carry. Understand this deeply. The burdens of pain, guilt, and limitation that have weighed so heavily on your shoulders are not native to your soul. They were given to you by a world lost in its own forgetfulness. From childhood, you were handed wounds passed down through generations, unhealed traumas of your ancestors, societal shame and fear, the echo of old karmic dramas, and you took them on as if they were yours, You identified with your suffering, thinking it was just life or human nature. But in truth, it was baggage added onto your pure being. Some of you, in your empathy and light, even volunteered to carry more than your share, hoping to transmute it for the collective. But hear these words: none of that darkness defines you, and none of it ever truly belonged to you. The suffering you feel is like a cloak you put on for a time, a role you played in the grand play. But it is not the essence of who you are. You are here in this life not to be beasts of burden for ancestral pain, but to finally set those burdens down. Breathe and feel that possibility, the weight falling away, the long night of the soul giving way to the dawn. When we say all your suffering was never yours to carry, we mean that you came as a sovereign soul, to experience and then to heal, not to eternally bear loads imposed by others. The time has come to recognize what pain is yours, and what pain was adopted from the outside. And in that recognition you can, in one courageous act of consciousness, decide to let it go. What remains will be the truth of your being, light, unencumbered, and free. Consider how much of the heaviness you carry has been inherited or absorbed. You came into this world wide-eyed and full of light, and immediately the conditioning began. You took on your family's unresolved emotions, playing out patterns that were never truly about you. You learned to carry your parents' and society's fears about survival, about being good enough, about punishment from God or rejection by the tribe. These burdens were laid upon you before you could even question them. Yet you accepted them, as a loving soul often does, thinking you might fix or heal what others could not. Many of you are what we call starseeds and lightworkers, old souls who came from far reaches of the cosmos to assist Earth. In your compassion, you often agreed to take on more than your share of the collective sorrow, so that you could transform it through your human experience. But we remind you, the true you has never been defined by those stories of suffering. The true you exists beyond the play of drama and pain, untouched in the realm of spirit. Now the time has come for the great clearing. You are not betraying anyone by laying down these old weights. In fact, by doing so, you uplift your entire lineage and soul group. When you heal yourself, you heal backwards and forwards in time, freeing your ancestors and descendants energetically. The belief that you must continue to hurt because they hurt is a shackle you can now unlock. You incarnated not to drown in the darkness, but to carry a torch of light through it, illuminating the way out. By releasing what was never yours, you fulfill the deeper mission you came for, to break the chains and set energy back into motion, towards love. You might wonder, how does one truly release such ancient suffering and programming? The answer lies in frequency and awareness. As the energies on your planet intensify, they are stirring all that was stagnant. Think of the influx of cosmic light through solar flares, planetary alignments, and the very movement of your solar system into higher energy regions of the galaxy as a great cleansing current. This light is activating dormant portions of your DNA, the very blueprint of your physical and spiritual being. Within your so-called junk DNA are multidimensional codes, carrying the memory of who you are beyond this life, the wisdom of your soul, the gifts of your star lineage, the knowing of your purpose. As these DNA codes awaken, they broadcast a higher frequency throughout your body and aura. Lower vibrations, such as fear, shame, and sorrow, cannot coexist easily with this rising frequency. They either come up to be transformed, or they fall away. Yes, there may be times when you feel old pains resurfacing, not to punish you anew, but to offer you a final chance to acknowledge and release them. When this happens, do not despair. Recognize it as part of the recalibration. Your body and spirit are updating, releasing dense energies and making room for more light. Some of you have already felt physical or emotional symptoms of this process. Fatigue, vivid dreams, waves of emotion. This is evidence of the old moving through you. Remember to call upon the tools you have: meditation, breath, movement, and connection with nature. can all help you integrate the higher frequencies. You are effectively undergoing a metamorphosis on a cellular level. With each breath of conscious release, you are allowing the alchemy of spirit to change you from the inside out. In this way, the burdens melt, the heart radiates, and your whole being begins to vibrate at the note of truth. From a broader perspective, this process is not occurring in isolation. There is a vast galactic history leading to this moment of emancipation. A long time ago, in your linear time, Earth was known as a living library of consciousness, a jewel in the cosmos where myriad species contributed their knowledge. But as cycles turned, forces who sought dominion inserted themselves into your story. They altered your ancestors' DNA, diminishing your natural abilities, and erected veils of amnesia so you would forget your origin. These beings wove oppressive systems, some physical, some energetic, to harvest the energy generated by human struggle and strife. This was the false matrix of control, a web of deception making you believe you were small, alone, and obligated to suffer. Wars, dogmas, social hierarchies, fear of scarcity, all these were parts of that elaborate illusion. Yet not all hope was lost. Throughout the ages, teachers and prophets slipped through the cracks in the matrix to remind you of your power, and many of you came from the stars, incarnating on Earth to seed the light, preparing for the time when the matrix would lose its hold. Now is that time. With the great quantum reset underway, the galactic community observes with joy as humanity breaks its chains. You may not see it on your news broadcasts, but on subtler levels the chains are indeed crumbling. The old guards of the illusion, those who relied on manipulation to rule, are watching their influence wane. The frequency on Earth is rising beyond what their control mechanisms can contain. You are reclaiming your DNA, your sovereignty, and your story. Know that your star families, Plaiadian, Arcturian, Sirian, and countless others, are assisting from behind the scenes, sending waves of support. Because your liberation is a celebration felt across the stars. What happens here on Earth now will uplift many worlds, for you are an integral part of the vast tapestry of life. Your victory over imposed suffering sets a new tone for this entire corner of the universe. As you awaken to this larger truth, the principle of sovereignty becomes paramount. Sovereignty means recognizing that you are the supreme authority in your life, guided by the wisdom of your soul and accountable to the source of all creation. No outer power, no institution, leader, or even channeled voice holds dominion over your inner knowing. In reclaiming your sovereignty, you reclaim your authorship of your story. You no longer hand your power to those who would define reality for you. This is a great responsibility and a great joy. For with sovereignty comes the realization that you are a creator being, endowed with the same creative essence as the prime creator. You have the right and the ability to choose your path, free from the mandates of fear. We encourage you to practice this now, in small and big ways. Question what you've been told. Feel into what resonates with your heart. Make choices that honor your truth, rather than defaulting to collective habit. Each time you do this, you strengthen an energetic boundary, declaring, "I am sovereign, I am free." In your energy field, this declaration is like an invincible shield, a high frequency that lower manipulations cannot penetrate. It does not mean you become isolated or uncaring. True sovereignty actually makes you more compassionate and wise, because you act from love and authenticity rather than coercion or people-pleasing. As more individuals reclaim their sovereignty, a new collective reality forms, one built on respect for the freedom and divinity of each being. This is the blueprint of the new Earth, a society of awakened, responsible creators who collaborate in harmony rather than obey in fear. By stepping into your sovereignty, you withdraw your consent from the old paradigm. The Matrix cannot hold a population of self-realized beings. In this way, your personal liberation contributes directly to the liberation of humanity. Every soul that stands in its own light is like a candle that diminishes the dark for all. The great quantum reset is not a mere concept. It is alive within you. Every time you make a new choice, Unbeholden to the wounds of the past, you are enacting that reset. Every time you catch yourself interpreting reality through the lens of love instead of fear, you quantum leap to a new timeline. Do you see? The reset happens through your conscious participation, and as your inner world shifts, the outer world cannot help but follow. The illusions of the past are like fading echoes. They only have power if you listen to them. When you tune into the frequency of your higher self, those echoes diminish. In practical terms, you will notice life reflecting your new state. Synchronicities will guide you gently, instead of crisis shoving you harshly. Relationships will realign or release depending on whether they support your newfound clarity. Abundance will flow, in expected and unexpected ways, as you drop beliefs in lack. Even time itself may feel fluid, sometimes stretching, sometimes collapsing, as you step out of the old linear constraints. This is the malleable nature of reality we spoke of, coming to life in your day-to-day existence. Understand that this quantum reset is a process, a wave that will continue to unfold. There may be surges and lulls, but the trajectory is set. It is carrying you, and all who choose freedom, into a higher octave of being. Know that nothing can truly stop it now. The collective decision has been made, at the soul level, to reclaim light over shadow. The only question is, how gracefully and consciously will you ride this wave? You have allies in every dimension supporting you. Your own soul, the earth herself. And innumerable beings of light are conspiring in love to help you succeed. Trust this support. Allow the journey to unfold without trying to clutch at the old shore. You are becoming something new, and that is the greatest blessing of these times. Beloved ones, we offer these words to ignite the remembrance already within you. Take them into your heart and feel the truth resonating there. We, the Pleiadian Collective, walk beside you as family, yes. But the divine within you is your truest, most important, everlasting companion and guide. In the end, all the teachings and messages, including this one, are meant to point you back to your own wisdom. You are the key you have been searching for. As the great quantum reset unfolds, hold the light of this knowing high. Let it illuminate the shadows. If doubt creeps in, let it remind you that you are far more than a name, a body, or a story. You are consciousness eternal, choosing to be here now for a grand purpose. All the suffering of ages can be healed in an instant of awakening to that fact. In this very moment, you can decide to step out of the old skin of limitation and step into the radiant self that has been patiently waiting. Feel our love surrounding you, amplifying the love you are remembering to give yourself. We cherish you and the courage it takes to transform in this way. The time of the chrysalis is over. The wings of the sovereign soul unfurl. Fly forward now into the new dawn. Know that we rejoice with you. All your suffering was never yours to carry. Set it down, step away from it, and you will find us all celebrating your arrival on the other side of illusion. In the light of the great quantum reset, you are free, you are whole, and you are home. I am VALIR, and I am delighted to have shared this with you all today.